So there's a million players entering the portal that just straight up don't have eligibility, and it's driving all the media folks that Cart and I know insane. Like we are lucky enough to have close relationships with a lot of people that cover this sport for a living that we've met through trips to the Final Four and various work projects. And it's one of my favorite things is being in our little Scrapple group chat. We call it Scrapple for some reason, and it pops off anytime there's college hoops news. And it's driving everyone in that group chat insane. Like the people who actually have to cover this for their full-time job are just like, I'm so tired of this. Why are we even pretending that this is worth our time with all these? Like yesterday, Ian Shefflin and Jaden Zachary, the Clemson duo that have played 4 full years of college basketball, are entering the portal, even though they clearly have no case to play more college basketball. They are not the only ones. There's literally hundreds of guys that are out of eligibility here. And I think people are starting to sort of strike back at this online. I don't know. I could go either way on whether or not I hate this, love this. I don't really care. What's your general reaction to this? Do you think it's stupid that all these guys are trying to play more college basketball?
I have no issue with it. I've been saying it for a little while. Like, what's the issue with guys wanting to play basketball at the prime of their athletic ability? Like, why do we want to get rid of players before they reach their peak? Riley and I did a video together like a week ago. I forget who it was. Oh no, it wasn't Chad Baker Mazar, but we were talking about Chad Baker Mazar. And he's like, Chad Baker Mazar is 25, 26. Why we don't want him like about how it affects college basketball. And I was just like, if you told me a player is 25, 26 in the NBA, we're excited to see what they do at the height of their abilities. Why is a college basketball player at 25, 26 like a finished product that we don't want anymore? Like, I think we're going to see an evolution of the game where we're going to see guys that like play longer into their college basketball careers, hit their athletic prime, continue to develop. I mean, do they need to be playing at 30? No. Like, let's get, we I draw the line somewhere. I think we do want to make sure we're giving opportunities to the high schoolers to come in and play. But I don't think a fifth year is that crazy. I think a lot of guys like you need more time to learn how to play the game of basketball, play the game at a high level. I think it's going to teach people to play roles. I think it's going to greatly improve both the college basketball product. And when you improve the college basketball product, you're improving the NBA product. And that's just making basketball better as a whole. And I have no issue with the growth of the game at all.
Yeah, I'm indifferent because I get why everyone's doing this, right? All these players are entering the portal on the off chance that the ruling comes in their favor and everybody randomly gets a fifth year. And look, you look at a guy like Shefflin. I'm just going to use him as an example because he felt like he was the one where, like, when he did it, everyone finally was like, okay, this is too far. Like something about Ian Shefflin. He's a good college basketball player who has just played a full college career, is done, needs to move on with his life and his career. And he just, it's maybe it was even just off from him on the idea of like, I think he thought he could just put it out like, I'm in the transfer portal. And then he realized very quickly, like, everyone was like, dog, what? Stop. And he sort of had to like address it publicly and be like, I'm just doing this just in case. But look, if I was in those shoes, you have to do this because if everyone does randomly get given a fifth year, these are players that financially could make millions of dollars doing something they don't have the opportunity to do elsewhere. And anyone listening to this video, anyone watching this video, if the world gave you a 1% chance at making $1 million or more doing something that's unlikely to happen, you would put your name in the running for it. You would enter a raffle, you would do whatever it is for a 1% chance at making millions of dollars you wouldn't have access to elsewhere. So even if you look foolish, like I think they have to do this. With that said, please, for the love of God, NCAA, just stop this now. Because if you're looking at how do we get this to end, the NCAA needs to rule right now, publicly, that it's not happening. Just get it on the books, and then we don't have to go through this mirage of pretending this might happen. And that's the frustrating part for me is we just are in a waiting game with the ball in the NCAA's hands. We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for one, I mean that's how everybody does everything is that 1% chance, right? Like, whether you meet your wife, your husband, like you're asking that person out, you don't like fully know, right? Everything is some off chance, and if it works out, that's great. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? That's life. You go into work every day hoping to get that promotion you want. You don't know if you're going to get it. That's all these players are doing. They're just hoping for the same results that we hope for in our daily lives. It's just on a national scale. To me, the issue is two things. One, you said the NCAA needs to make these rulings quicker. Like they should have a deadline of before the window opens to tell these players if they're going to have eligibility next year or not. That way we can avoid this charade. You have until let's say you have until the first tournament day to ask for your waiver. That's our cutoff. Anything that comes in after the first tournament day is declined. And then the NCAA has until the portal opens to decide if they get eligibility or not. And then we just move on from there. To the other thing that I think is a massive issue here, it's very clear to me if you enter the portal, it's more likely you get the waiver than if you don't. And I think that's an issue. If you just gave the waivers out no matter what, you would have less people enter the portal without eligibility, but they're entering it because it heightens their ability to get that waiver because it puts their name in the spotlight. And then NCAA just says, oh, okay, sure, and signs a piece of paper. So I think a lot of these guys are entering the portal with every intention of going back to their school because by the time they get the waiver, by the time they know what they're doing, rosters are going to be set besides the one they left. But this is just their best way of getting the waiver, and that it's their only opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. It does feel like you get like the public perception behind you. It might impact things. But look, across the board, as far as I know right now, the NCAA is not approving these. Like with Brooks Barnheiser was the name a couple weeks ago. There's guys that are trying to go this route, Dane Danger, that are just not receiving the answers they want. So I think, like all things college basketball right now, there's not a lot of public clarity. There's a lot of confusion and muddiness in the NIL era. This is one element of it. It might be lame. It might drive people crazy. It makes sense from the player's perspective. And I don't know. Like all things, we need to get regulation. We need to get NCAA to give us more public facing information on what's going on, move quicker, and get contracts in place. Just sign guys to contracts. 4 years of eligibility, sign a contract up to 4 years. You have to honor that once you sign the contract. You sign it out of high school. We get to that point, the sport would be in a better place. But I'm enjoying the chaos personally. Like, I think it's been funny to sit back and watch guys that aren't going to play act like they might play.
I want the contracts to be able to be less than 4 years. Like imagine AJ Advance is like, yo, I got a 1 year with a player option for the second year. Like I
Yeah.
want like we have to negotiate years too, where it's like,
Oh,
okay, Ian got a 3 year from St. John's, but he only wants one. We can offer him a 1 year deal type of thing.
that's where it's headed, I think. Because think about like this protects the mid majors more than anything. You're a kid that is a one-star prospect that some mid-major school, no high majors are sniffing around, but you think you found the Giannis Antetokounmpo and you're Lehigh,
Mhm.
right? I'm gonna sign Giannis to 4 years
Yeah.
because I believe in you, Giannis. And that kid signs for 4 years. He becomes Giannis. Duke can't just swoop in and poach him. It's that's the protection. And if you want out, you can. There's buyout opportunities. There's ways around it. But I think that's where this needs to head. I bet we get there at some point. But yeah, in the meantime, I've enjoyed the freak out too. Like I enjoy seeing people I consider friends like really annoyed with this because I'm just a psycho like that. And Cart and I are just like laughing at it. Like also, let's be real. Like college rocks. If you can do anything to stay in college longer than you should, you should.
Yeah. I want to go back. Like life was much easier. I didn't have bills. Like I got to walk into a room. There was food ready for you. Like you
Yeah.
didn't have to cook. And then you like walk out. You walk into your room and your bed's just right there chilling. You got video games. Like what are we talking about? College is great.
It is like playing life on easy mode, really. Yeah. Well, all right. I don't know. Will be interesting to see where this goes because I feel like there's a bunch more stupid names to enter before the deadline tonight, and we'll just keep laughing at it all.